You take away museums, you take away water parks, you take away a lot of the indoor closed spaces, movie theaters, and folks are still wanting to engage and do something fun, and the safest place to do that is outside. To just be outside and in a space where you maybe not have to think about how the sky is falling in so many ways around us. This year, we are packed all the time. It's been very, very, very busy.
In Chelan County, we had 2 parks there that we had to take some measures to prevent additional people from parking outside of the park and trying to enter because the crowds were enormous and it was really hard to manage and maintain social distancing. Our visitation numbers for last year were about 38 million people came to state parks. Anecdotally, we've been hearing we're so busy, we're busier than we've ever been.
And it looks like we have 48 incoming reservations today. So it's pretty busy for a Monday.
Every summer, we're busy on the weekends, but during the week, we've typically had a little bit of a lull or a slump, and this year, we're just not seeing that.
Are you wanting something available tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I have something.
And so I think that that's what makes some of these visitation numbers so impressive is that we're up and we weren't even fully open. In fact, we still, to this day, don't have our visitor centers or interpretive centers open, and lots of our group areas are still closed as well. A lot of people this summer, as you can imagine, have been drawn to some of the parks that have swimming opportunities.
There's a lot of folks who feel very confident that outdoors is safer, and when it becomes a filled space, it's no longer as safe as it was if it was less filled. So I think that the hardest piece is knowing I'm carrying this anxiety and trying to do the right thing and encouraging folks to come visit us and all of that stuff, and then we have folks who show up and there's litter everywhere and they're not wearing masks in the bathroom, and so it's disheartening, you know. No one person's life has not been impacted by this. Oh, hang on one second. My mom's in the hospital. Hey, little mom. It's tough. My mom is in a vulnerable population, and seeing her has taken on a whole new connotation. So my mom has brain cancer. They gave her 5 years, and she's on like year 18, which is pretty badass. Yeah, so if you and I can make a deal that you drink your coffee, and then I'll call you back as soon as I can. Does that sound fair? Because of what I'm exposed to, it's impacted even how I recreate and or socialize. All right. Well, and I love you, little mom, okay? So I'll call you back here in a little bit.
Most of our day use and camping parks have been reopened. Right now, it really offers people an opportunity to get outside and reconnect with nature. For so long, we've been stuck at home, and a lot of the other recreation opportunities that people typically went to during the summer aren't open.
Thank you. Bye.
No more. Can you handle the load, Eleanor?
80% of our budget comes from earned revenue, and that's user fees, whether that's camping or day use passes like our Discover Pass. That's how we make our money. And so when we were shut down, it essentially stopped our ability to be able to earn revenue. So this summer, when we normally would have a lot more staff in the parks, we weren't able to hire those seasonal staff like we have in years past. People that are new to the parks are rediscovering them after a long time. They're new to the outdoors, they're not always as familiar with typical protocols, and one of the things we've been noticing is a lot more trash in our parks. When we have more people people coming into the parks. That in and of itself creates more of a workload for them. But when they're also leaving more trash and leaving more things behind, and it's basically our staff are needing to do more with less.
For the most part, I am the main point of contact for anything camping or day use related. I maybe spend a total of 10 minutes in this space. So my job does not look like this most of the time. We were gonna do a campsite cleanup bingo. We try and count how many cigarette butts are left in a fire pit, the little pop rock papers, sunflower seeds, the little dental flossers, balloons, Nerf darts, flip-flops, and beach towels, piles of puke. That's a weird one. Oh, I came across like a bottle with a interesting substance inside of it. I couldn't tell you if it was like urine in a bottle that once had, soup maybe. Like I don't know. I didn't want to dwell on it too long. It's really weird. And it's not good for the animals, and it's not good for the ecosystems that reside within our parks.
When the pandemic first came on the scene, the governor shut down most of the state, including our parks. And so we were completely shut down for both day use and camping for 5 weeks. I think one of the most critical components to what we might do would be what the situation was with COVID or the pandemic. We need to be able to maintain social distance. So much of what we do is more than just taking care of the land. We're preserving the history of our state, and if we lose parks, we lose that. We lose a piece of our history. We did have a few instances where we had to take action and close day use areas, Lake Wenatchee State Park and Lake Chelan State Park in Chelan County. It's hard to speculate as to what we would do in the future. We will continue to do everything we can to keep them safe and keep them open.
I love the fact that I get to come smell the woods every day. I love the fact that I get to hear the birds and see the frogs. And, I saw a rabbit and I was like, man, that rabbit has no idea that a pandemic's even happening. Like, how cool for that rabbit, And then it's like, well, at some point, we'll all be that rabbit. And I think that's the best thing about nature, is this moment to hit pause and just know it'll be okay.
Comcast Washington is proud to help our neighbors stay connected.